If you don't know what to do yet, then you could go ahead and research different solutions to the problem. Chances are, if you're going through this, is someone else already went through it. Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goals at this video is to help you resolve problems as a virtual assistant. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lai Lacaba. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run my own outsourcing company here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, when it comes to you starting out as a virtual assistant, or you might have been doing this for a while, mistakes and problems will pop up. It's just something that is not avoidable. It's something that just does happen from time to time. Even if you triple check everything else, there will be times when problems come up or mistakes were made, and I'm going to walk you through different things that you can do to be able to get through the other side of it. Now, I know it can feel shameful. You feel a bit shy, you made this mistake, or that you came across this problem and you have no idea what to do. And hopefully the different tips and pieces of advice that I'm going to give you guys in this video will help you the next time that you go through a problem or a mistake that was made as you're working with your client. And the first one is the toughest one, which is just be honest. If you try to cover up your mistakes or the problems that you're having, it's just going to be something bigger later on, or worse, you're gonna get caught because you weren't upfront with your client about what happened or what is happening. Then it's going to later on, if that shows up again, and I've been working in this industry for 10 years, it does show up again, it's going to look bad on you for not being upfront in the first place, for trying to hide this. They'll start thinking, okay, what else has this person hid from me? So it starts this train of doubt if you are not able to be honest right away. So basically, the moment it happens, give it a little breathing room maybe, just to make sure that things fall as they may, and then bring it up with your client of like, hey, this happened, I need your help, or what I do, or you might already have a solution. But as soon as it happens, be honest and be upfront with your client about it. Again, it might be scary, it might be like anxiety inducing a little bit, but if you are upfront about it, then you have someone who can help you solve the problem. And it can be even the best person who can help you solve the problem because it's your boss, it's their business, and they would know what to do or how they would want it to be solved. Next is just then be open to feedback. If it was a mistake that you made or a problem that you came across that you might have not come across before, then be open to that feedback of like, okay, let's say you made a mistake editing a video, for example, and if you're open to that feedback of, okay, this is what they didn't like, this is what they liked a lot, and you're willing to grow from that. I guess it's one thing to be able to take feedback, it's another thing to grow from the feedback that you just got. So make a point of it that whenever you receive feedback from your boss, whenever you're going through a problem, again, you're made a mistake, that you're actually taking into account, you're actually like thinking of, okay, this is how I'm going to change moving forward based on this feedback. Of course, you want to have a little bit of a discernment to know which advice to take and which not, because sometimes it's just not applicable to who you are and what it is that you do. Whenever someone gives you feedback, it is for the next time, it's for that growth. So be open to receiving that feedback and then taking action with that feedback. Next is take initiative when it comes to resolving the problem. Like I said earlier, when you're coming up front with your boss about what happened, you might already have a solution, and that is usually the best. Whenever you're bringing something up with your boss, it's better if you pause and think, okay, oh, if I was him or her, how would I solve this? How would I move this forward in some way? Or maybe you already have the solution, you just need their approval or making sure that they're okay with it before you move forward. When you do this, when you already take initiative and you're not just bringing your boss a problem, you are showing them like, hey, I'm taking responsibility for this. I know this was a task given to me or a project given to me, and I want to move this forward in this way, even though we've came across this problem or this bottleneck. And if you don't know what to do yet, then you could go ahead and research different solutions to the problem. Chances are, if you're going through this, is someone else already went through it. That's just a high chance about life. If you're having a problem with a software that you're supposed to figure out, someone else probably already had that problem and they posted it online. Or you can ask other people for a piece of advice if they've gone through the same thing. You might have a group of other virtual assistants you can ask. You might have a mentor that you can ask. Know that it's okay to ask for outside help as you're trying to solve a problem. And know that you can always Google it. I've said this before in my channel, but Google is your best friend. There's literally tons and tons of information for you that you can just research and look up in an instant if you really wanted to dive in on how to troubleshoot the problem that you're going through. So try to find solutions online. You can post on a Facebook group maybe, or again, just use Google and find the solutions as much as you can online that you can then present to your boss or your client. Next is take ownership. Now, I've said this before, but you need to really take ownership of a task or a project to really feel, okay, this is the next thing that I need to do. Sometimes it might be that you just not really owning a task. You're just like, oh, it was just passed down to me. But the moment that it's delegated to you, it is your responsibility to make sure that it gets to the finish line, whatever that looks like. So as you try to troubleshoot this problem, try to solve it, you need to own it of like, this is my responsibility to make sure that this gets done. When you do that, you change your mindset a little bit of this is just another problem to solve, of like, this is my problem to solve. I want to take ownership of it. So then once this is solved, I can now have this in my tool belt moving forward. Another way that you can solve through a problem or a bottleneck is to zoom out. What I mean by zooming out is to look at things from how it affects everything else. Sometimes when we are solving a problem, we're too narrow-minded. We're just seeing this one thing and forgetting about how it affects everything else. So one of the things that I always advise our virtual assistants when they go through problems or bottlenecks themselves is to zoom out and look at how this affects the company overall. Of like writing out, okay, these are things that needs to happen, these are things that have happened, and this is how this one thing actually affects everything else, and how it will keep affecting everything else as it's not solved. So when you do this, when you do that zoomed out version of looking at that problem from that point of view, you are able to really better understand the problem even more. You're seeing how it affects everything else or does not affect everything else. Sometimes when we go through a problem, it actually isn't a problem to solve. It can be something that can be left alone. It'll solve itself. But it's hard to make that discernment unless you do that zoomed out version of looking at your client's business from that point of view. And once you have the problem hopefully fixed or found a solution on it, make sure you document it. This is something that I have heard over and over again from people that I've coached before, is they'll solve this huge problem for their client, but they actually never wrote it down how they did it. And of course, the next time that it gets come up, because there wasn't any documentation on how it was solved, then it kind of feels like you're doing it from scratch. So try to document as much as possible what were the solutions that were found to be able to get to the other side, or even better, create a system so it doesn't happen again as much as possible if there is. So let's say that a couple of your clients have not paid their invoices. So creating a system where you follow up within like a week of the due date of the invoice is going to be one major help of making sure that those invoices get paid next time. If the problem, let's say the document that you submitted was wrong, then how you make sure that that's a system next time is you create a checklist of things that you want to make sure is there before you submit out the document. So keep in mind that there's going to be systems that you can put in place in the future so it doesn't happen again in the future. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what other ways do you do to be able to brainstorm through a problem so you can give other people advice. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to run business from home. You guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. And I hope you guys have an awesome day, and that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.